All right, so since I'm going to be traveling, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video today. This is just going to be the gameplay, UT3 Facing Worlds, and a little bit of Warfare after that. Um, just wanted to talk about some things and really about what we've lost in gaming and what we really need to get back. Kind of some of the underlying reasons why things have changed over the years. And this is coming from just the fact that I've been playing a lot of older games lately. You can see obviously UT3, UT99. Some of those other older titles from the 2000s just really got me thinking about things. And I wanted to put that out there and give you guys some of my perspective on it. A lot of this is nothing you haven't heard elsewhere, I'm sure. But maybe some of the things are new. And, I might have a different perspective from a lot of people, given that probably a lot of people in the gaming industry are in their 20s. And I am definitely not that. I'm quite a bit older. So maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. Yeah, in playing those games, I've kind of come to the conclusion that this is way more than just these companies going woke. It's not about DEI ruining games. It's not about ESG causing games to be garbage. Because games have been going downhill since before all of those things were even an issue, even a thing. And I think the underlying cause is much more severe than just going woke, but it certainly has made things a lot worse. It's ESG scores, DEI has exacerbated the situation significantly for sure. It's just one of those buzzword mechanics that they can kind of make excuses around, I think. But yeah, it's more nefarious than that in my opinion, and we'll get to that in a minute. But just kind of talking about older games. What I've noticed is missing nowadays that they used to do is they always used to push the boundaries of what was possible. Games are always marketing themselves on being faster than the other guy or having better AI or having some kind of mechanic that nobody else has or what have you. It's always about, better graphics and better gameplay and faster and better and everything else. So nowadays, it doesn't seem like anybody's really marketing towards that or even trying to improve any of those things. It's more about how much the game is cinematic, how much it's like a movie. And that's kind of boring. I mean, if you want a movie, watch a movie. And if you want a game, you should play a game that's worthy of being called a game. So yeah, this cinematic approach to a lot of things has really kind of watered down gaming quite a bit. And I think that that's a big part of this. And specifically in multiplayer gaming, there's some different things that have also changed. For example, like back in the day, we used to host our own servers. We used to have everything hosted locally. Nowadays, it's all cloud-based. It's all on their servers. It's all, matchmaking and making sure that you're matched up against people of your same skill level, because that's how you'll have the most fun. Even though these are total strangers, and there's no connection there really, and there's no personality. I mean, that's kind of something that's been lost, because even if you were connecting to a random server somewhere, you knew that was set up by someone specifically for the way they want to play the game. It's you're kind of a guest in their realm in a manner of speaking, and it's different. It's got a different vibe to it. And a lot of times, when you connect to those servers, even if you're total strangers, by the end of the match, you're going to be fast friends, and you'll keep playing with those guys. You'll keep reconnecting to those servers, and that's how great friendships are formed. And that's how a lot of my friendships were formed. I mean, both online and in person. I mean, we used to, in college, used to have LAN parties just, between classes. We'd set up and game together and have a great old time. And that's how we made friends, being, gaming in person, actually being across the desk from your opponents and being able to trash talk them in real life. It's a whole different experience than those lobbies for sure. So yeah, I think we've lost that. And part of it is certainly because, those old IP protocols aren't there anymore. I mean, that's not even a part of Windows at this point, or even Linux to a certain degree. And so a lot of that old stuff, even on the old games, if you try and do that in UT99, a lot of it doesn't even work anymore. I think UT99 does, but a lot of them don't. And it's not like you can't do that with modern networking protocols, because I've done it, and it is possible. It's not easy, and it was a pain in the butt to get to work in the thing that I was testing it with. But I mean, for little old me to be able to pull it off, I'm sure that a AAA studio would be able to make that work without an issue. So I don't know why. Well, I do know why they're not doing it, but I don't know why they shouldn't. They should be able to set up LAN games and be able to do that locally, and they don't. And the excuse has always been, oh well, if we host it ourselves, that's how we avoid cheating, and that's how we make sure that that the scores are accurate and everything is correct and everything. That's a weak excuse if I've ever heard one, because a lot of us don't care to be ranked. We just want to play some fun games and play them together. And being able to do that from our own locally hosted environments, there's no downside. You can cheat all you want in those local multiplayer games, and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's not competitive. It's just you having fun with your friends. And we never did cheat, because what was the point? We're having fun with our friends, and that was it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of weak excuses going around in the gaming industry, and that's certainly one of them. So, I mean, that's kind of what we've lost in multiplayer. And then going to single player, it's just as bad. I mean, single player, it was always about, getting better at the game to progress to the next level, to get to that next milestone. And games were not easy, and it took a lot of tries in some cases to make it further along. So you failed a lot, but that made those successes all the more beneficial, all the more positive. You really felt like you achieved something because it was so difficult. And we've lost a lot of that too, because a lot of these single players are very, very watered down. They're very much designed for people to be able to get through in one go. And even to the point where a lot of these single players are basically just one long cutscene with some interactivity in between, and there's no skill at all involved. And I think a lot of that is because these companies are afraid that failing at something might discourage those players, and they might not want to play their games anymore. Oh well, I can't get through this in one go, so I'm not going to buy their next title. And that's dumb, because maybe it's not dumb for the bulk of the audience who just wants to kind of relax and be walked through these games, but they're not servicing their original audience. They're not doing justice to their original gamers who really wanted that challenge, and they don't have it anymore. I mean, that's the whole point of these single player games, is to be able to say, I did it, I made it through. But if making it through is just a matter of walking through it and not having any difficulty involved, it's not hardly an achievement at all. It doesn't really matter. So that's what we've really lost in single player games. And kind of to get down to the reason why I think all of this has happened, and I kind of hinted at it there, is that idea of mainstream appeal, that idea that, well, if we dumb it down, if we make it like this, if we make it simple, if we make it easy, more people will play it, because they're not going to feel alienated. So we'll get more sales because, it's an easier game. So the hardcore gamers that really enjoyed this title because of the difficulty, well, we might lose them, but they're a small number. They don't matter compared to the wider audience that we can get when we turn this into a games as a service and start nickel and diming people and all of that. This is kind of the mentality of the AAA industry, and this has become ingrained in that concept of ESG and DEI, because if you cater to these groups, then the other people won't care, but they'll really care, so they're going to add to your populace. And that's not how it works, because if you're focusing on those things, you're not making a good game. You're not making an enjoyable game for the rest of them, so you do lose more than you gain. But I don't think the AAA has figured that out yet, so that's a part of it as well. I don't know where all this is heading, but I think that that's the underlying issue, and that's why I don't think DEI is the culprit. I don't think that going woke is the culprit. I think that that's just a further advancement of the same problem that we've been having for a long time now, which is just watering down games for bulk appeal, so that people can get more sales. And to that effect, I mean, the other major issue with gaming is the almost predatory nature of all these microtransactions and this games as a service stuff. I mean, they're changing the way games work in order to nickel and dime more money out of you. I mean, that's basically what we've been seeing for the past 5-10 years, is this effort to find the next way to milk gamers out of more money. It's not about making a better game, it's about making more money. And that's definitely caused gaming to lose a lot of that soul that it had in the beginning, because back in the day, I mean, all they cared about was making fun games and making money off of making fun games. But they were not mutually exclusive. They were not like, it's not like you can make lots of money without a fun game. The idea was to have a fun game to play that would make lots of money and allow you to make the next game and the next game after that, and so on and so forth. But we've lost that along the line. It's more about the profit lines. It's more about the the balance sheet than it is about having fun. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's my 2 cents. I'm sure none of this is too terribly controversial. I mean, it's the opinion of a lot of people. I just wanted to put it out there and kind of voice my thoughts on it, and kind of give you some perspective from a somewhat older gamer than probably you guys, you 20-somethings are out there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like these kind of videos, give it a like, and I'll be back to my normal routine after this one. So if you didn't like this video, don't worry, they'll be back to normal pretty soon. So that's all I got for you guys, and I will talk to you later.